ASMR True Crime. It's been a while, but I'm glad to be back with you. Today, we're delving into the tragic story of Brianna Ghey, a young transgender girl who was senselessly ambushed. Before we start, please remember to subscribe and like if this content resonates with you. Let's begin. Brianna, a vibrant 16-year-old student at Birchwood Community High School in Warrington, radiated positivity and proudly embraced her transgender identity. Despite grappling with ADHD, autism, and anxiety, she found solace and connection on TikTok, establishing a supportive community for trans individuals nationwide. Meanwhile, on the opposite end of town, a disparate group of teenagers navigated life through a starkly different lens. Scarlett Jenkinson's story begins with a seemingly perfect family. Her mother was a teacher, shaping young minds, while her father ran his own building and plastering company. Scarlett, the youngest of 4 siblings, enjoyed pony rides and dressing up for special occasions. However, as time went on, Scarlett faced challenges. By the age of 11, anxiety had a tight grip on her, leading her to resort to self-harm through cutting. Despite her quiet demeanor in class and minimal trouble with her parents and teachers, there was a darker side to Scarlett that only Eddie knew. Eddie Ratcliffe, whom Scarlett met at school when they were both 11, was considered strange by others, but Scarlett saw herself as equally peculiar. Eddie, sandwiched between a younger sister and an older brother, found solace in kickboxing at his father's gym. He excelled in the sport, even representing the UK. Eddie was the type of student that teachers loved to boast about, intelligent, acing tests, and aspiring to study microbiology at university. By 8th grade, Scarlett began identifying as a Satanist and would send Eddie provocative texts, meant as jokes, such as, "I'll stab your nan and shag your cat." While Scarlett enjoyed horror movies, she eventually craved something more authentic. Through the dark corners of the internet, she discovered red rooms, websites rumored to stream live real crimes. Some dismissed them as urban legends, but Scarlett became convinced she was witnessing genuine horrors unfold before her eyes. Her obsession with these videos started to seep into her everyday life. Fast forward to fall 2022, Scarlett found herself in significant trouble at school. She was caught distributing marijuana gummies in the playground, akin to handing out Halloween candy. Unfortunately, one child consumed too much and ended up in the emergency room. The child's parents decided not to press charges, but it was clear that Scarlett needed a fresh start. She transferred to Birchwood High in Warrington, where the headmaster was aware of the gummy incident, but gave her a chance nonetheless. Scarlett's previous teachers vouched for her, claiming it was an isolated incident and that she was generally a safe bet. It was at Birchwood that Scarlett first encountered Brianna Ghey. Both girls attended the inclusion room, which provided individualized teaching. They bonded over their shared interest in makeup and preferred to spend time together in the inclusion room, avoiding socializing with other students. It seemed like a positive situation for 2 girls who lacked many friends. However, no one could have anticipated what was happening behind closed doors. Around the same time that Scarlett had to switch schools, she and Eddie came up with a twisted idea. What if they murdered someone? The two exchanged thousands of deeply disturbing texts on WhatsApp, planning their sinister plot to take someone's life. They drafted a detailed plan on how they'd execute the murder and made a list of potential victims that excited them. They had a list of possible targets, a guy they ridiculed as annoying, a few people who Scarlett considered her enemies, a kid they deemed an easy mark, and another guy who had a girl that Eddie was interested in. February 2023, Scarlett had moved Brianna to the top of her list. Eddie's chilling response confirmed their intentions. "Yeah, it'll be easier, and I want to see if she will scream like a man or a girl." For Eddie, Brianna wasn't even human. She was easier to kill than the others on the list. Here's how they planned to do it. They would lure Brianna to an isolated spot in Linear Park. Scarlett would keep her distracted with small talk, and Eddie would sneak up from behind with a knife to strike her in the neck. Out of all their targets, they thought Brianna was the easiest to trick because she genuinely believed Scarlett was her friend. That misplaced trust cost Brianna her life. Scarlett penciled in January 27th, 2023 as the date for their deadly plan. Brianna thought they were just going to hang out and possibly get high at the park. Eddie planned to bring a new hunting knife from a trip to Bulgaria, ready to use it on Brianna. The plan was straightforward: meet Brianna at the bus stop, walk her into the park, and then Eddie would use the knife on her. Scarlett was enthusiastic about the plan, even saying, "I want to stab her at least once, even if she's dead, just 'cause it's fun, lol." But a family dinner caused Brianna to cancel on them. She texted Scarlett that she couldn't make it. Afterward, Scarlett became obsessed with rescheduling. She kept texting Eddie about killing Brianna, but Eddie started having second thoughts. He told Scarlett it was a school day when she suggested killing Brianna the next day. She was relentless, texting, "Please, I want it done ASAP," but Eddie held his ground, saying it wasn't feasible on a school night. These texts indicated to the police that Scarlett was the mastermind, while Eddie was her accomplice. She saved his contact as Tesco John Wick. They agreed to meet again on February 11th, a Saturday. The day before Scarlett invited Brianna to the park, Eddie met Scarlett near the bus stop, while cameras captured Brianna leaving her house, getting on the bus, and sitting anxiously on her way to the park. At the bus stop, Scarlett was in red and Eddie was in black. Brianna walked away with Scarlett, with Eddie trailing behind. Cameras later showed the trio heading toward the park, and witnesses remembered Brianna due to her white socks and oversized sweatshirt. At 2:15, Brianna sent Scarlett a text saying, "Girl, I'ma wait where I am until we have drugs, lol." Nobody knows where Brianna was when she sent that message. Scarlett pretended to arrange a drug deal on Snapchat. Brianna's last message to Scarlett at 3:06 asked, "Girl, where are you?" Just 7 minutes later, Catherine and Andrew Weiss were out walking their dog when they stumbled upon Eddie standing over Brianna's body. During those 7 minutes, Brianna was viciously attacked 28 times. Afterward, Scarlett and Eddie walked away like nothing had happened. Scarlett went home while Eddie got on a bus to cover their tracks. Scarlett made up a story about Brianna bailing on them to meet a guy from Manchester, even sending texts to Brianna's phone asking if everything was okay. Scarlett's mom, hearing about a teenage girl's murder in Linear Park, called the police, and Scarlett stuck to her story. Scarlett spun the same tale to the cops, saying Brianna ditched them for a guy from Manchester. She also texted Eddie, assuring him that they wouldn't get caught. But when the police arrived, they arrested both of them on suspicion of murder. Scarlett insisted that the man from Manchester must have killed Brianna, but Eddie wasn't as loyal. He told the police that he had gone away to pee, and when he returned, he found Scarlett stabbing Brianna. Investigators found the blood-stained hunting knife in Eddie's room and handwritten notes detailing their plan. Eddie later stopped talking to the cops, communicating only with his mom. He pleaded not guilty by showing a handwritten note, but his clothes had Brianna's blood on them, while Scarlett's were clean. Despite who did the actual stabbing, the court saw both Scarlett and Eddie as co-conspirators. In February 2024, they were sentenced to life in prison. Scarlett, seen as the puppet master, had a minimum of 22 years to serve, while Eddie, the follower, had 20 years. Both will be eligible for parole in the early to mid-2040s. So that was it for this episode. If you like this content, please consider subscribing. Until next time.